But before we get to sports tonight, Paul has another installment of his Stories of Service.
Yeah, every Sunday we get a little window on history as we visit with Valley veterans of World War II, and this week it's a name that might ring a bell for you. Eli Setencich spent half of his life, 41 years, writing for the Fresno Bee, but before he tried his hand at journalism, his hand was on the joystick for 142 combat missions in the cockpit during World War II.
There I was, 80,000 feet on my back, hanging by my cord.
80,000 feet?
Well, no, I'm lying, 40,000.
So tell me the story again about where you got this model.
Sam Icabellis, B2 Sam, who's a great aeronautical engineer.
That model of an A-36 can take Eli Setencich back 65 years in an instant. He vividly remembers being in Oakland on the day, just months after his graduation from Sanger High School, when the course of his life and the course of our nation took a dramatic turn.
Several of us where I was staying, they were playing basketball on that Sunday morning at Mosswood Park, which is right off MacArthur Boulevard, and we got home after the game, and the folks there said, Pearl Harbor's been hit, and I didn't know Pearl Harbor from Pearl Bailey. You know. Next day I went to work in this furniture store downtown Oakland, and the town was just dead. It's like a bomb had hit the place. It was just quiet. And we realized war was on.
And within a few months, America's war became Eli's war as well.
Idiot me, I wanted to be a Marine, but my dad wouldn't sign for me, so I'd never flown, but I thought, what the heck, go in the Air Force, and it worked out okay. It was scary, you know, and off and on, but when you realize what those guys were on the ground were doing, it was a piece of cake, comparatively.
Eli saw firsthand what the troops on the ground were going through as he carried out his duties for the 526th Fighter Bomber Squadron of the 86th Fighter Group over Italy.
It was all strafing and dive bombing, and a lot of close support work with this dog faces on the ground. We were maybe a couple hundred yards ahead of them, trying to knock out tanks and things like that, shooting up trains if we found them, and bombing dropping 500 pounds on bridges and railroad yards. And that was our whole mission as a tactical fighter.
That sounds like you'd be running into fairly consistent flak.
Yeah, it was a rare mission you didn't get shot at.
But when you fly 142 missions, not every mission is the same. For starters, Eli saw combat in two different airplanes.
I checked out in an A-36, a Sanger Apache flying an Apache, which is, you know, how much of a coincidence is that? Must have gotten about 25 or so missions in the A-36, which had dive brakes on it, so you could come straight down. Then we got into the Jug, the P-47, 47 on your side.
Exactly. It would be in a P-47 Thunderbolt that Setencich would experience his most harrowing wartime moments.
One time I got hit, and it was somewhere over the Black Forest. I don't know what we were strafing, I forget now, probably a train. And all of a sudden I looked out, and the flames were flying out of the side of the plane. And I switched the engine off. I thought sure as I was going to have to belly in. In fact, I signaled my wingman to come up and see what the damage looked like, and he kind of came up close and looked, and he says, "Can I have your foot locker?"
Eli had punched off his canopy and prepared to bail out, but he wasn't ready to give up that foot locker just yet.
Saw nothing but trees, wood in front of me, so I turned it back on, and sure enough, it kicked back over with, I don't know how many cylinders were running then. P-47 would fly as well on half its cylinders as it could on all 18. It was so sturdy, you know.
Another close call came on a run from Corsica to mainland Italy.
I got rid of one of my bombs, but couldn't get rid of the other, and just tried everything, just diving and trying to shake it off, but it just wouldn't come off. And I'm not sure, but I was told later that we had a policy that if you had a hung bomb, not to try to land with it, rather that it might go off, so either dump it, bail out or something. I couldn't swim, so I had the hell with it. I'm not taking a chance, so I pretended I couldn't hear anybody talking to me on the earphones or anything, so I came in and landed there in Pisa, and the smoothest landing I ever made. And sure as heck, the bomb dropped off and went off. but everything went the other way, so nobody was hurt.
The 86th would win 2 Presidential Unit citations, one in Italy and another one later on in Germany. After his 142 missions, Eli came back to the Valley, playing football for Coach Pete Biden at Visalia College before getting his degree from Cal in Berkeley. He still goes to Golden Bears football games with his wife, and he still remembers with fondness his days as a 20-year-old pilot fighting for freedom in the skies over Europe.
It was a great experience, and I'm glad I did it. You don't want to think of war as one of your great accomplishments in life, but it's part of your life, so I'm glad I served, and what little you did for your country, I'm proud of it, sure.
And you mentioned, too, that he has a couple of medals that he neglected to bring out. He's so humble.
He says he's proud of that, but he's so humble he didn't tell me until just about an hour ago that he also got 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses while serving those 142 missions. I had to pull that out of him. Thank you, Eli, for your service to our country. What a humble hero he is. And by the way, if you want to hear about some more great World War II veterans here in our valley, go to the Veterans Auditorium outside the VA Hospital on Clinton in Fresno at Thursday, 6 o'clock. Some of the best stories that have been put together by the volunteers of the Stories of Service Project will be shown. Some awards there as well. And a week from today, our 1-hour Veterans Day special, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, right here on CBS 47.